This is Hillbillies in the Bush, and today I'm going to do a book review. I'm going to show you a few books, but I'm going to show you the one that in my opinion is probably if I had to take off running out of the house and grab just one book, there's one book I would grab. Now, mind you, I'm not talking about, the Bible isn't included in all these books. Of course, I would probably take a copy of the Bible, but let's just set that one aside for a moment. And the one that I would grab would be the one I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a few books. Now, I've only done one book review, and I didn't think I did a very good job at it, but there was a lot of people that done a book review on that book, and they done excellent jobs. I've not seen any book reviews on the one that I want to show you that would be my go-to book. I'm sure they're out there, I just haven't searched for them. But I wanted to show you some of the books that I have. And a lot of these are survival books because I've done this ever since I was a kid. I didn't have some of these books when I was younger, or actually none of them when I was younger, a kid. We just learned the stuff as we did it in the woods. But later I started to collect a library of survival books and different things, wilderness survival. And these books all have one thing in common, and including the one that I would grab every time, 100% every time. But they kind of fall into a little niche, and then the other book kind of overshadows the rest of them. And I'm going to show you some that I got. This here is a Outdoor Survival Skills by Larry Dean Olson. This is an excellent book. In fact, he was one of the experts, or one of the guys that, I hate to use the word expert, but one of the guys that was on the set of the movie that Robert Redford played in, Jeremiah Johnson. In fact, in the front of the book, and you can see this thing's kind of falling apart. In the front of a book, Robert Redford's got a little in the forward there section of how he helped him, and the knowledge and stuff was just outstanding. Of course, Robert Redford signed it and everything, but this is a great book. This guy takes Brigham University. He takes young troubled people out in the woods, and they basically go out in there with maybe a pocket knife and spend quite a bit of time out in the woods. And they ain't allowed their cell phones, nothing. It ain't like mommy and daddy can help them. These are kids that's probably in juvie hall or troubled teens, I should say. And when they come back out of the woods after being in there with this guy, they've earned a self-confidence level that they've never had. They've earned respect for their fellow man, which is awesome. It's just incredible. I would recommend this book because of the things. It teaches a hands-on approach. This ain't a, let me grab from all the survival books, throw pictures in something and show you what it is without ever doing it. This guy actually does it. But this is Outdoor Survival Skills by Larry Dean Olson. Then I've got one here that's called Wilderness Survival Handbook by Alan Fry. And then this has got a few pictures in it, but it deals with shelters and the different whatnot, just like basically all your other books. And I've read this book as well. It's not bad, but it's not as good as some of the others. Here's one, Survival with Style by Branford Angier. And of course this one is loaded with stuff, and as you can tell it's falling apart. I've had it for years. I probably got a couple of these books when I was maybe 17, 18. And some of these books, I'm not even sure when this one was copyrighted, but they are deteriorating bad. The pages are yellowed on them, and all the pages are here, but I'm just saying that I've had these for a long time. This is a good book to go to. Probably the latest book that I got, my wife, I seen it online and started reading a little bit about it and thought, man, that is a complete book for a wilderness type survival, which I'm saying these books all fall into a little niche of wilderness survival. There's other stuff they could have went into, which is the one book that I've got that went into all this. But anyway, let me go on. This here is called Camping, Wilderness, and Survival. It's a huge, thick book, as you can tell, and it is just loaded, chock full of this here book's got a mass quantity of wilderness survival, forecasting weather, different shelters, collecting water, different traps, different maps, compasses and maps, how to read them. Let me make sure I'm getting here. Sky charts, cloud cover, do different knots and ropes, different game species and their tracks, birds, mammals, some of your predators, some of your rodents and your lower food chain resources there, fish, insects, the different insects to stay away from, different plants, edible plants. It's got a thing on first aid. It would be a hard pick from this book and the other one that I'm getting ready to show you. I would probably grab both of them, but if I had to only grab one, it would be a hard choice between this one and the other one. But I highly recommend this. Is Camping and Wilderness Survival, the Ultimate Outdoors book by Paul Tyrrell. I would highly recommend this book because it's chock full of a lot of information gathered from all the other survival books out there. And this one here is probably the best of all of them I've got. Of course, I also have the old Standby. This is the one I probably bought, had the first. This is probably my first survival book. It's an FM 2176 Department of Army Field Manual, which I'm sure all you guys have seen. And believe it or not, all them other books that I just showed you actually pulls pictures out of this book and copies them right into their book. But, you know, these books, I'm sure a lot of you guys that are watching this channel have seen this book right here. Very good book, as you could tell. Now, this book is put together well. I mean, it is withstood the test of time. And as you can see, those are stains. There's probably some blood on this book. Who knows what all has been on this book, but I'm sure rain, blood, and sweat, and everything else has been on this book because I've had it the longest. Now, that brings us up to the book, besides this one right here, which is a very, very good complete. This is a complete book on far as your directional knowledge, you know, your environment, looking around at the clouds, the sky, the, you know, bearings, directions, maps, animal life. This is really a complete book. I would say this book and the one I'm getting to show you, I could probably throw all the other books away and just keep these two, and it would be good to go. And guys, I don't have an extensive library. My library consists of educational books. I don't have Stephen King or any kind of fantasy type books like that. I have puzzle books, which are logical puzzles. I have maybe some illusion or some not illusion, but illusion books where you see lines and they look bent but they're straight. Those types of books. Optical illusions, I guess is the word. Which brings us to the actual reason I'm making this video. My wife purchased this book for me, and after reading it, I've kind of went back through and read most of it again. I've got to go back through and keep reading it. But should I have to leave this house, it would be probably this book that I grab, besides this big thick book. And that is this book right here, When All Hell Breaks Loose, by Cody Lundin. Now, he's got 3 books out. I've not read the other ones, but in my opinion, this is the only one I need to get from him. I could be wrong, but there we go. When All Hell Breaks Loose by Cody Lundin. This book is a massive quantity of knowledge that does not fall in the niche of these other books. These other books are more or less wilderness survival. The survival stuff you would learn in this book will actually work in the wilderness as well as in a town, a city, a suburb, a high-rise apartment, or the wilderness. So this book, in my opinion, overshadows the rest of them because of the in-depth that it'll cover any place that you're at. I mean, anywhere. This book will do it. I've bookmarked some of the pages in here. I don't want this to get real long, but this covers water, psychological symptoms and fear of stuff that you might go through in a survival situation. Of course, it's got a lot of cool little funny graphics and stuff. Defending your urban survival priorities. It's got a pyramid of needs. Positive attitude. It deals with psychological aspects of survival or of a grid down situation of any kind. And we just had basically a grid down. Thank God that we didn't have a loss of power, but power was knocked all over the place, and there's still people without power. Give Me Shelter. It deals with the different types of shelter, as well as his home that he built in Arizona and made that home self-sustaining, pretty much like a living human being. That home is. It breathes. It accepts sunlight when it needs it in the wintertime, shades the sunlight in summertime when it don't want sunlight. The house self-regulates its own temperature. And the different things in here, illnesses. It goes through illnesses. One of the things I got here is how much you truly need to eat. It has charts on, how much your calorie intake you should have, or the bare minimum that you can get by with. It's got all kinds of pictures and stuff in the middle of it. Some of the other things in it is, here we go, sanitation. How to dig a cat hole. Different ways of using the bathroom to keep the strain off of you, or pulling muscles and everything else, whether you've been in your backyard, in a wilderness situation. This is why I like this book so much. It just don't cover going beside a tree and doing your business. It covers, you know, if you're in your backyard, how to set up a little latrine type situation, where to set it up at, how to go about sanitizing everything that happens. It deals with cooking, all kinds of ways of cooking. It deals with the diseases known to occur after a grid down situation with foodborne pathogens, waterborne pathogens. Deals with self-defense, and he's got a professional guy in here that teaches, that does basically this section on self-defense, how to take care of yourself. Like I say, I don't want to go through the communications. There's a book here, or a chapter on critical communications. I'm sorry, I keep slanting the book. I can't reach around the front of the camera and get this book out far enough to see it, so I'm kind of sitting beside the camera. Just incredible amount of knowledge. Should I stay or should I go now? One of the other things this book talks about is your tribe, your family as a tribe. It talks about you should really try a grid down situation and put yourself on a diet, not so much a diet, but a ration, to see how your family's going to react, how your kids will react, because knowing what stress is going to happen in a live or a grid up situation, there's already going to be mass quantities of stress when the grid goes down. Having to deal with the extra stress of, you know, kids not liking this or kids not liking that, but you have to supply rice. Say they don't like rice. My kids don't like beans. I'm sure they will like beans because I love beans. The wife loves beans, and they're going to eat them. Simple as that. Beans are good for them. Why they don't like them, I have no clue. I just don't understand where they got that at. But I've loved them my whole life. But that's one thing. We stock rice and beans, and of course they would have to eat the beans or go hungry, and they're going to eat the beans. The beans are good for them. But you know, if you guys get a chance to buy one book, say one book a year, one book a month, or whatever, this book is a must-have. Any of you guys that are watching my channel, and I got bushcrafters as well as preppers watching this channel, and other people, you know who you are. I appreciate all your comments and your kind support and everything, but if you've not got this book, this needs to be the next book you purchase. Now, I hope I did a little bit of justice on some of these books. These are two books right here that I would highly recommend, but the only reason I would pick this book over this one is for the simple fact this covers everywhere. This does not cover what happens if you're stuck in a high-rise with no elevators, stairs are collapsed. How would you survive? This book covers only a wilderness setting. It covers it inexplicably well. I mean, with all your maps and critters and traps and cooking techniques, shelter techniques, this book is probably the most complete book on wilderness shelter I've ever seen, or wilderness survival situation that I've ever seen. But this book not only covers stuff, if it covers urban environment, you can use those same urban environment survival techniques in the woods. It does not have to teach you how to build a shelter in the bush. You're going to figure that out on the own. If you cut enough tree down, stack them up, you're going to have a shelter. But it does go over some of that as well. But like I say, if you guys get a chance, this book is When All Hell Breaks Loose, Stuff You Need to Survive When Disaster Strikes, Cody Lundeen. He also has a book called 98.6 Degrees, The Art of Keeping Your Ass Alive. And he's got another one that the wife looked up that I forgot what the name was. But it's only available on Kindle right now. But if you guys get a chance, this is a book you want to read or buy, purchase. And I hope I did this book justice. When you get it, you will understand why I value this book over any book in the house other than maybe the Bible. But if I was to grab any of the books I just shown you, this will be the number one I'd have to go to every time. I hope you enjoyed the video. Go out and get this book if you can afford it. I can't remember. The wife bought this for me for like my birthday or something. And you remember how much it was, baby? $13? $13, something like that. 13, 14, 15. Who knows how much it is. You may be able to find it cheaper. But go out and get it if you don't have it and read it. I'm sure you'll find it's most useful and kind of entertaining. It's got some funnies in it too, but I hope you enjoyed that book review, guys, and shoot me some comments if you read it and you really think it's an awesome book. I appreciate all you guys' support. Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll see y'all later.